What's up, y'all? So it's almost Mardi Gras time in New Orleans, and a lot of people going to be coming out here to visit. And one of the things that they like to see when they come visit New Orleans for Mardi Gras is the so-called Mardi Gras Indians. But before you do that, I need you to get your mind all the way right before you look upon the glory of the Indians that mask at Mardi Gras. Because what you see is a glorious representation of your ancestral deities. Understand that you are looking at the grand divinity of your people, the true indigenous American gods. See, the American gods, they chose Louisiana and Mississippi to hold most of its genetic evidence, but they chose New Orleans tribes to represent their deity. When you see the Indians during Mardi Gras, you are not looking at Mardi Gras Indians. You are looking at true American indigenous people, the Indians, who are representing from spiritual communion. And they are representing and showcasing the grand divinity and beauty of the American gods in their true essence. Now, you might hear different narratives about the origin of the so called Mardi Gras Indians, but the fact is, most of the Indians that mask at Mardi Gras are indigenous Americans or Indians. And some of them are indigenous Americans who have African ancestors as well. And you'll see the tribes that acknowledge their African roots because a lot of them will put the symbolism in their suits. So you have some of the tribes representing indigenous American and African in their suits, and you'll have some of the tribes representing just their indigenous American Indian symbolism in their suits. You'll also hear the narrative that the Mardi Gras Indians started because the Native Americans took in blacks or slaves during the slavery times to protect them from, from the white man or from the slave masters and such. But the problem with that story is you're thinking of the Native American because people use the term Native American in Indian as if it's the same thing. So when they tell you that the Native Americans took the black people in, it wasn't the Native Americans that you know of in today's terms. It was the Indians, the so-called black Indians. Now think about it, and this is where common sense comes in. In order for black people or even Africans to be able to blend in and live amongst and hide amongst the so-called Native Americans or the American Indians, they would have to look something like them, right? Now tell me, do black Americans look like them so-called Native Americans today? I don't think so. So like I said, you got to use your common sense in that situation. So, like I said, get your mind right before you look upon the glory of the Indians that mask at Mardi Gras, because what you see is a glorious representation of your ancestral deities. And understand that you are looking at the grand divinity of your people, the true indigenous American gods.
The spirit chooses us. Once you take part in this here culture and the spirit grabs certain ones and won't let them go.
I'm going to say this, that many are called, but few are chosen. And I believe that we were the chosen one.